And so, the folks at 3D.io has just recently released Packer.io. This is a free standalone UV tool that allows you to take advantage of its automated system to manage your UVs based on the technology of the folks at the 3D.io's free UV plugins. And of course, this is now available for everyone as it is totally free, which simply means that you can use it for anything you want. The folks at 3D.io has also mentioned that Packer.io is available to everyone to do with whatever they please. So whether you're trying to use this for commercial or personal projects, you can simply go ahead and check it out. And for those who like to download this, you can simply go over to the link in the description where you can download this for both Windows and Mac and start creating your beautiful stuff. The cool thing with the Packer.io is this, that you can automate work easily. This has an intuitive UV management tool and it simply guarantees very cool quality and reduces that drag time that you have to spend when managing your UVs. Instead of dealing with UV clusters, you can now automate this process and get done with it. This also has a couple of interesting plugins which you can download and work with. And these plugins, like we mentioned earlier, are totally free. So whether you want to get the ones for Blender, 3D Studio Max, Unreal Engine, then you can of course go ahead and check it out. And today we're going to dive right in and explore this beautiful tool, especially if you want to get it and see what you can get out of it. So with Packer.io simply opened right here, what you get is this simple stuff. So you can choose to drag and drop a file in, and this supports like a huge set of files. So whether you're working with OBJ, FBX, GLB files, you can simply work with them. So what I'm going to do is just drag and drop a file in here. So this file that we're working with is gotten off Sketchfab, and a huge shout out to the creator for this. I'm going to link this in the description as well. And what you have is pretty simple. So like we mentioned earlier, this is a packing tool, and this is definitely going to be super useful for those who have already cut their UVs, or probably, you know, you've just done a haphazard job at cutting your UVs and you just don't want to spend that time packing it. So what you can do with this is simple. So with everything here, we can simply click on the word pack, and this would automatically pack it. If we would like to do a full rotation of this pack, which adds a 180 degrees rotation to an angle, we can do that as well. So we can pack this as much as we want. We can also choose to play with the rescaling. So maybe we want some things not to rescale, we can do that. If we like to play with the combine as well, we can also do that too. So this is beautiful. The same thing can be said for the padding. So probably we want to get a padding of, let's say, 3. Let's actually go in and dial these all the way down. All right, so let's say we want to get a padding of 3, we can click and automatically we're also getting that. And in terms of sizes as well, say for example to each UV tiles you want them to be 1024 or probably 512, or maybe you want to max it all the way out to 248, you can also do that. So you do have options of doing this. So we go in and say we want this to be 248, and we can simply click and this becomes a 2K UV tile. And another interesting thing that you can now do with this, despite the fact that you can do all of that, is packing this based off a UV tile. So let's say, for example, we have this beautiful piece, and for this particular piece that we have here, we want all of these to exist as a UDIM. What we can do is to go over to tile UVs, and we can choose how much of a UDIM we want. So we could do like a 2x2, or we could do a 3x3, or maybe a 4x4. And once we have that, we can click on the word pack, and automatically we have it. So in this case, you can now create independent tiles for different objects. And the more packings you click, the more variations you get. There's also a couple of options and menu sets that exist here. So if you click on the plus button, you can go in and import something else. And if you want to deal with the looks, you can. So you can also go over to the looks section, and there's a couple of looks you can, you know, play with this and see how things would look like. So again, if we would like to scale this all the way up and click on the word pack, and we have that. This is set to 2K. If we would like to scale this all the way to 4K, which I believe should be 4096, we can also go ahead and scale this all the way up. We can do the same UV thing that we did. Say we like this 2x1, and we're going to have 2 different stuff. We can flip between the UV or the 3D model, and this way we can now see what we have right here. Now in this situation, if you also want to play with the looks some more, you can of course go ahead and do it, and the tiling can also be controlled from here. This is just one useful tool I believe a lot of people can take advantage of, especially if you're into UVs and probably you get to work with multiple UVs and you don't want to deal with the whole idea of cutting these UVs and then tiling them and packing them. You need a tool to actually get these things going. You can just simply focus on cutting the UVs however you choose, and then come over to an app like this and get it arranged properly the way it should. There's also a manager tool that exists here, and for UI there's also the dark and the light UI. So this is something I wouldn't recommend, but the dark one looks pretty cool. There's also again some navigation styles. Depending on what you want to do, you do have these things here. And once you're ready, you can proceed to export your file by hitting Ctrl and S on the keyboard, and you can export the file with the UV tiles that you've just created. So from simple to complex models, the Packer IO seems to be an amazing tool for allowing and helping artists pack their UVs with a single click without the hassles of dialing several buttons and dealing with so much technicalities. So this is it. Amazing things from the folks at UV Packer. And of course, if you like to get this and probably you want to start playing with it, then you can simply go over to the link in the description and check it out. It is quite impressive to see that this is available for Windows and also for Mac. And by every means, if you need the Blender, Unreal Engine or 3D Studio Max plugin, you can go ahead and grab this. In terms of the payment for these is totally free. Like we mentioned earlier, you can use this for literally anything you want, both commercial and also personal. So this is it. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section. And of course, a huge shout out to the folks at UV Packer for making this possible. And if you like this video or you like something from this, you can go ahead and give a like and don't forget to share with a friend. And until I see you guys in the next one, peace.